names? Are we still going with Christian Brady?
Mrs. Christian. No, Mrs. Brady, sorry.
She's the rich one too.
Okay. Alright, welcome in, Miss Brady and Mr. Christian. We wanted to just take a second before we go ahead and get on with this mediation, to go ahead and just kind of lay a couple foundational rules for the mediation. So first off, while we are speaking to one another today, let's just go ahead and try to keep it civil. We understand that there may be times where you may be more emotionally invested, and so your responses to certain questions or certain things may become different, but do just try to remain in control of yourselves, and withhold any comments that may not genuinely help move the conversation forward. Also, if that does become a problem, for either one of you, you guys are allowed to ask us to, step aside one-on-one, have a conversation with us, whatever the case may be. So do not hesitate to reserve that option. Everything said here today will be confidential, so it will be between the four of us. It will not escape into the remaining members of your guys' communities. Anything else you want to add?
I just wanted to add, although we're not here to strictly come to a resolution and solve your problem, we are here to help effectively communicate. So all the snide remarks or anything that may interfere with the effectiveness of communication, we will address. And that is the goal, is to keep communication open.
So what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys both time to go ahead and discuss your respective viewpoints on the issue with us. During that time, you will be speaking solely to us, not to one another. And then we're going to open up a conversation between the two of you guys, and then we will go from there and proceed to search for a resolution if possible. But do just try to remember that everything that's happened in the past is in the past, and you guys both being here today means you both have an interest in moving forward. So let's just go ahead and try to remain progressive. Would you like to start, Mr. Christian?
Well, to be honest, I don't quite know what the big deal is here. There's a daycare in my property, I know that much. I know that they have children that they're trying to take care of, and they might cry from time to time. But I didn't think it would actually come to a point where we have to talk about it here in this mediation, or where it's becoming a community, tag along where everyone wants to try to come against what we're doing here. I believe what we're doing here is in good faith. I hold a lot of community events at my church. I hold a lot of weddings. I hold a lot of things where I can just help people, and along the lines bring them closer to Christ. And the kids love him. I love him. How come you can't love him? I don't know, but that's why I'm here. I'm trying to convert, help people out, and turns out it's not going so well, apparently.
I don't like when kids cry all day. I don't like hearing it. The neighbors don't like hearing it. All I keep hearing are kids crying without being attended to, without anyone even saying anything, because I can hear, everything that's going on. I recently...
For you, is it more so the fact that they're crying, or is it the noises being produced?
It's the noise. It is kind of scary to hear babies cry, but you don't hear you know, someone taking care of them. You don't hear their voice. You don't, you know, hear anyone trying to settle them down or moving them. I don't hear that. All I hear are cries. All I hear are cars.
Demons also
Um,
flee from the wrath of God too.
I
Also known
mean,
as wisdom.
I'm pretty sure God wouldn't want, you know, kids crying all day, or he wouldn't want, you know, someone almost hitting my car when I was trying to get out of, you know, my house to go to work, and basically a car that was driving down to the church almost hit me with their kid inside, and just didn't really care about it, and they almost hit me, and it's because of all the congested traffic going on by the church in our neighborhood. That's a disturbance. And I mean, I'm tired of it, my wife's tired of it, I mean, my husband's tired of it. The neighbors have also came to me with the same issues that they have, the noise levels. They do hear the kids crying, and they do hear the cars honking, traffic, you know, because I recently moved into that house, and, you know, me and my husband work a lot, and we have an infant child, so, I mean, work is pretty stacked up at this moment, and, you know, it's hard to get work done and not be stressed out when we do hear noise, a lot of noise and a lot of crying throughout the days. So.
I mean, I know you mentioned you're quite busy. Have you ever considered, you know, potentially enrolling your child, you know, in this
My
youth
child's
service?
an infant.
Right, and Mr. Christian, what age are?
6 months to 2.5 years.
Oh. So I mean, does your child age?
I don't even like the fact of, you know, parents leaving their kids in such an environment where there's so many kids around, it's so congested, there's traffic, there's people complaining. I know that there was a neighbor that went down to the Little Tots area to their fence to speak with a teacher, and a teacher never came to speak with them because they wanted to know why kids were crying so much. And I personally would never drop off my kid at a place like that. So, I mean, even the thought of leaving your kids in a place where there are already too many kids being taken care of, and they're not actually being taken care of because they're crying all the time. And I just don't see anything beneficial for that. I don't understand. I wouldn't do that for my kid. I wouldn't ever leave my kid somewhere. So I think it's ridiculous how parents can do that.
So, she mentioned the number of kids. Do you know how many kids are in the establishment?
60.
And do you know exactly how many staff members are employed there?
I don't. I believe that I've seen about 5 or 7 different people now.
Do you know like the law is on that? Just by chance, no?
No, I didn't.
I mean, is there anything that you would like to present to us as it relates to what she's already told us?
Yeah. You know, I don't know if you know who it was that went down to the fence line and tried to get the attention of the caretakers, but what I do know is I saw and could clearly hear that she did more than just try. She yelled at the kids, you know, and I'm like, why do you have to yell at children? It just boggles me.
Who did that?
The lady at the fence.
Well, I mean, she wasn't yelling at the kids. I'm pretty sure she was trying to get the teacher's attention since the teacher never even went up to talk to the person at the fence. I
So
mean, wouldn't you wonder why someone would be at the fence?
Well,
Wouldn't
yeah.
a teacher, an adult, would
Yes,
take
I wonder,
responsibility and go?
and quite frankly, I don't think the kids understand what the person was trying to do. You know, like, so all that was happening, if you were there to see it, was that she was just scaring the kids. And that's just irresponsible if you ask me.
As far as I know, everyone in the neighborhood are concerned about the welfare of the children. And we're not happy.
Well, yelling at them not gonna help the situation.
So,
I wasn't that person, so, I mean,
So we established that. She wasn't the one yelling, but it was another disturbed neighbor.
so do you,
Apparently she was disturbed. Needs Christ in her life.
so, those being, one of the comments that we wanna refrain from, pushing in this meeting.
Are you saying that I cannot speak openly about my religion?
That is not what I'm saying, sir. I am simply asking you to remove it from statements made directly at Miss Brady.
That was towards the lady that was yelling at the children.
I apologize for my misinterpretation. So moving forward, I know she's brought up issues regarding what goes on at the daycare. Do you personally oversee the activities, or what goes on within the daycare?
No, with the daycare, they're separate from us. They're they're not related with anything that we do at the house, our house of God. We are a religious establishment, of course, as you may know. They aren't. They just rent from us, and they hold their daycare, which has been doing very well because it's been adding to what we hope to pursue at our establishment, which is while we are helping people with their daily activities such as marriages and such, we do preach to them, give them a good word, and introduce them to God. And so that's pretty much why we love them as they are.
You're speaking of the children?
We're speaking of little tots.
Uh,
And yes, the children too. The children, the parents that they bring in. We love working with them. It's just hearing all these complaints. It's helped me at least realize that there may be an issue at hand. Though I feel like a lot of the people who are complaining are just oversensitive.
how about
Right.
you go up the hill and then listen to what we've been listening to?
I can't afford living up there.
No,
And I
not
can afford
living,
living
but
here.
to physically walk up the hill and listen to exactly what we listened to, and then
I think-
tell me how you would feel about that.
I think what Miss Brady is getting at is her concern, and more of the community's concern is how these children are being treated while they're at the daycare. And because you don't personally oversee that, you have no way of,
experiencing the
right, and so there's no, the people that are at these elevated points on the hill are hearing everything, and you may not experience the same thing being on the same piece of land. So I guess the question really is
I find that hard to believe. You're telling me someone who is further away can hear things much louder than me, who is right next to it.
right, but with the geography of the landscape, there is
yeah. From what we understand, it's in a bit of a,
amplification of the
it's in a
noise.
bit of a bowl shape, and they're at the top of the hill, so things are a bit echoed and amplified up toward the residents at the top of the hill in the neighborhood.
And in your fancy houses, it follows you that dearly.
Yes.
Yes,
Do you have children of your own, Mr. Christian?
I do not.
Okay, it just, if, once or twice or the occasional crying, but from what it seems like they're trying to say is that the crying isn't just a once or twice thing, it is all, like, the entirety of
And the
the day.
traffic. The traffic is crazy.
Right, and so maybe, I mean, as far as, the kids go, because that's underlying all of this, what do you think would be, I don't know, like, not acceptable, but I mean, what do you feel might help decrease the crying and, make sure that the children are being taken care of? Because we've already established, it's not your property. It's your property, but it's not your establishment. And so I'm wondering if this is continually a problem and continually something that, is kind of popping up in your hair, why you don't want to do anything about the problem.
I came here open to hearing suggestions, wanting to do something about the problem. I would want to do something if I heard of it or if I believed that there was a problem. I don't really believe that there's a problem, or at least, at this point, I still don't see it. All I see are a few people complaining that they can't get some sleep. And, we've been here for a good while. We haven't had many people complain. If a community of 1,000 people are able to enjoy themselves just fine, and a few people in the group say it's not great, do you change the entire way things are because a small group of people didn't like the way it was? I don't think people do that too often.
I think it'd be reasonable to make small changes.
The only reasonable thing that I've heard or could take into aspect now would be if the kids are, not being given too much attention, that they should receive a little more attention. And being a child of God, I believe that we all need attention. Some more than others, but we all need attention.
What about also maybe implementing like a nap time or something to where it may increase like the quietness of the establishment for maybe an hour or two, so
And you see, this is something that I wouldn't really know how to understand either, because as we said before, it's not our establishment. It's on our property. We don't mandate them. We don't know very much about them other than they are daycare. And the people there sometimes come over here to where we are, and they sit down with us, talk to us, enjoy our company as we enjoy theirs. So,
but correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't a few members also affiliates, or like their kids attend the Little Tots? Is that correct?
I wouldn't know actually. All I do know is that some of the people. Oh, actually, yes. No, I think about it, yes. A lot of the children's parents, since we were right next to church, they actually came by, stopped by. A lot of good people converted too. Not saying that's what I'm here to do, but God finds His way, right? So yeah, you can say a few of them have their children going to the preschool, but I don't know how that helps.
Well, I just see it as, I feel like it'd be a good opportunity for you to maybe communicate with them a little. Since I know Mrs. Brady's problem isn't directly related to you, you seem to be in a bit of a buffer zone between the two parties, so I feel like it'd be really helpful if maybe you can get a couple of the parents together that have children attending the school, and then maybe you bring a few of the neighbors in, whether it be in another mediation session, which I'd gladly wouldn't mind leading, even if it's just like a little community meeting, just discussing some additional issues that you guys may share, or solutions to the current problem. As I know you're not directly
So
affiliated.
how would I approach them then? What would I tell them? Your kid's crying too much. That one over there is really upset about it. Or
No,
They are members.
I think it has to do with the, the attendees, the people who are watching the kids. They should know what's going on. Because I feel like you don't know what's going on. It's not like the kids' parents are gonna know what's going on, or we know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. So we want to know from the people who are watching those kids. They need to figure out ideas to lower the noise level.
I mean, I feel like being that, there are members of your congregation who use the daycare services, and it does contribute to, your community. It might be in your own personal interest, and honestly in the interest of, your community to potentially explore this path. These children belong to members of your congregation. I on behalf of the neighbors and all that, it seems like part of their concern again is the children. Miss Brady's also brought up the traffic that the daycare creates, that kind of creates hazardous conditions on the road. I don't think anyone likes almost getting hit. I feel like that's pretty unsettling for most people. So we're just trying to figure out one step at a time, really, how.
We can move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, so first off, before we start focusing on how to proceed with this, I want to give you guys an opportunity to discuss openly with one another, without us as intermediaries, kind of just to get conversation going and answer any questions directly that you have for one another.
If any.
Yeah,
I don't think he has any of the answers that I'm looking for. I don't think he doesn't understand that there is a noise problem because he hasn't physically been up the hill to listen to the noise. So if he did go up the hill, he would realize that there is a noise problem, and you wouldn't want to.
To be quite frank with you, I think being here and listening to it, I've come to find that there is a noise problem. So I'm not blind or deaf.
Okay, well, what's going to happen?
So is it you feel like you're speaking to the wrong person, like there's a different authoritative figure you should be addressing?
I guess there is, because he doesn't know what's going on with these kids. It's disturbing to listen to kids crying and neighbors assuming that there might be abuse going on. We don't know. And it's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable feeling. So.
And you feel as though you're in no position to address any of those issues?
The only position I would have is to talk to some of the parents whose children go there and see what they know. Other than that, I don't really see what I could do. We do welcome little tots. We do cherish their being here. They've helped with our ministry very dearly, bringing many people to the Word of God. So I would not, say anything against them that would upset them and have them go away.
Okay, so would you be willing to maybe get in contact with a few of the parents? Maybe so Miss Brady or a few of the neighbors would be able to exchange words and maybe conversate to try and further the resolution of this problem.
The only problem I have with that is the way I've been brought up. I found my way to Christ in a way that was all to its own. Though, if I were to separate from that thought for just a moment, God forbid, right? If I were to separate from that for just a moment, I would say I was brought to handle my situations on my own before Christ. That, I'm just saying that it shouldn't be my responsibility to call and talk to the parents when you have a problem with them. You talk to them,
I
you
have
find out.
called
That's why
the church
we're
so many
You're
times.
calling the wrong people and you expect to get the right answers. It doesn't make sense.
So, I
but
mean,
with
what-
you being in contact with them, in a sense, we'd be asking to use you as a resource, in a sense, to help link the communication between her and a few,
Why should I? So she can get some more sleep?
This isn't about sleep. This is disturbance in general.
and so why
Seems like
why
only
wouldn't
ahead.
you as a man of God be willing to help out another neighbor? Why would increasing her sleep be such a problem?
Because saying
Yeah, why?
no
I have an
is not a
infant.
sin.
At home.
That's
I
Say it again?
Because saying no is not a sin. I can choose not to help people by my own will.
why am I here?
And
He
still
doesn't
be
want to help
accepted.
anything.
Oh, I would be glad for different suggestions, but I'm just saying that sounds like something that you could do on your own.
I can do what on my own? Stop children crying?
I mean, you can call parents and talk to them about what's going on.
Parents? Well, parents. Well, they don't know what's going on
Do
in
you
the
know what a
classroom.
parent is?
Whose parents? Why would I call the parents of the kids asking them why they're crying at a daycare that they're not even, they don't
Because
even know what's going on
Although I
in
might
the
not be
daycare.
a parent, I would assume it is a parent's responsibility to know what's going on with their children.
Their parents not physically in there in the daycare. So it's basically
I don't think you're
whose
right.
responsibility is it?
Maybe, you know, I'm not speaking clear enough, maybe I'm not loud, you know, maybe you need Jesus or something like that to open up your ears, because what I'm trying to tell you is that parents should know what's going on with their kids. They don't have to physically be there, but maybe they should be in communication with little tots, and therefore you should go talk to the parents who would be in communication with little tots, and then you can get information from them. Or, to
I
be
mean, I
quite
could
frank,
just call the parents of the kids telling them how much crying that their kids are doing, and then the parents are just gonna go being mad as hell, going there, like, why is my kid crying all day?
you know, that's,
It doesn't seem like anyone's actually paying attention to it. They're leaving the kids crying. I don't hear, mind you, I can hear everything that's going on from down there. So, I don't hear any of the,
wouldn't the other parents be able to hear
babysitters.
that too? I don't understand.
um,
Because if you can hear it, and everyone else can hear it from all around where your house is, how come I only hear from you? How come everyone else only hears from you?
no,
Except for
actually,
the
you
kids,
had
actually.
neighbors, actually, not me, but other neighbors come down to the church physically
Mhm.
and try to speak to someone. And, I mean, they're at a fence. No one opens the fence for them. How are they supposed to even talk to someone? How can they reach
Our
someone?
fence is
We have
very
tried to
small. All
call
you have to do
you.
is flick it, and you
You,
can walk right
you
through.
said that, you know, other members have tried to get in contact due to how they're getting in contact.
They
with the
went
church.
down to the church because they don't answer any of my calls.
Our church is a very open foundation. It's not hard to walk through our doors. Our doors are open.
Well, it's not that open
Majority of the
since no
time.
one could answer my calls, no one could call me back in regards to why is this noise level not decreasing? Why is
How
it?
come you haven't paid us a bill?
In
I don't have
terms
time.
of,
I'm busy. I'm a lawyer.
But you have time to complain.
Yeah, it's in my own home. It's a disturbance. I have time to get annoyed by it, yes.
And you've had time to come
I
down
have
to
an
this
infant, I
mediation.
have to be home.
Time to complain. Time to tell
You
other
think
people.
I can drive through all that traffic down the hill just so I can
You are very good at
speak to
picking up the
someone who
phone.
doesn't even
Maybe
wanna,
if you were
So-
as good as walking,
it's
you'd probably handle the
starting
situation
to-
better.
so I can get hit by someone in a car that almost hit me when
If
I
you
was
are
driving.
afraid to walk on this earth, I don't know what to do to help you.
okay, so let's
Alright, I
go ahead and
feel
take
like
a
we're getting
pause,
a bit
starting
off topic.
to get a little, okay. So, I mean, I guess on your behalf, it comes down to, you know, you've already said, you know, you're not willing to, you know, you don't wanna go in and have to talk to them and just lie on them, but you know, again, this does all take place within, you know, the parameters of your property, and, in terms of, you know, accessibility, it's probably a little bit easier, for you in your position to get a hold of, you know, either the daycare or the parents. So I guess I'm just wondering, like, how, or why rather, you don't really see that as a possibility.
Mainly because I don't see it as a problem for me. That's why.
I mean, but let's just look at this under a different scope. What, if, under the assumption, you know, Miss Brady is saying that, you know, the children are being abused, or that is the fear amongst the residents on the hill, if that turns out to be the case, you know, I don't believe that would be something to help your congregation. So I don't know why I'm trying to understand, I guess, why at that point you're still, you know, not wanting to take the,
You know,
the potential
Thinking
initiative.
about it, if the children are being abused, then, you know, yes, it should be brought to my attention, and I guess, you know, being so caught up on the idea that she just sounds like she just can't get some sleep, so she's gotta make a ruckus. I guess I'm just being really stuck on that idea. Clearly this could be more about the kids. I
I
would be
wouldn't
willing
be
to help in
wasting
that
my
sense.
time here if this was just about sleep. I could just wear those earplugs and not hear anything, but I mean, it bothers me and I wouldn't be here wasting my time. Do you know why kids cry? Because they're hungry, or they're tired, or usually because they're hungry, or they get hurt. So
So because something's wrong.
something's wrong. So I don't feel, I'm a woman, I have an intuition, and I don't feel comfortable listening to them crying all day. And I just wish he felt the same consideration, felt the same, had the same heart. So, I don't know, I just wish he cared more. I mean, this is a church.
Mr. Cushman, do you have anything?
I only said a little prayer for you, God will help.
No, say a prayer for the kids. The kids need prayers. Yeah.
Yes, the children do need Jesus. That is true, and that's probably the most logical thing you have said all night tonight.
Why am I here?
So, again, you know,
And
we're here,
to be
we're here.
honest,
He doesn't
no,
care. He
The
doesn't
moment
care
I
about the
said I
kids.
was willing to help, all you could do is continue to say, "Why are you here? Why are you here?" Like I've said before.
He's talking down on what I'm saying,
Okay,
and it's making me
And you
feel
are not.
uneasy.
okay, Miss Brady, let's, you know, there is a process of back and forth. It may not always be as gratifying or as satisfactory as, you know, we might imagine. But you know, again, sometimes even if communication is going in a circle, you know, there's usually more and more that gets brought up. And maybe it's just, you know, a viewpoint that he's putting wrong, or something that has occurred that's kind of just not sitting well with you, Mr. Christian. And so that kind of sometimes gets in the way of communication. And so, you know, that's what we're here to do today. We're not here to sit and bite back and forth with one another. We're here to remain, you know, like I said at the beginning of the mediation, we're here to be progressive. You know, you have both voluntarily walked into this meeting, both obviously understood that there was an identifiable problem. And so the purpose of you guys being here is really, how do we go about the problem? How do we come to a resolution. It's, you know, we're asking you guys to communicate, yes, we're not asking you guys to agree. So you are, you know, more than entitled to maintain your own standpoints on whatever the problem is.
So from our understanding, it seems as though you feel you're not responsible for for helping her solve the problem since it doesn't have much to do with you, correct?
No, I'm not responsible for doing the things that she could do. That's what
So
I'm saying.
if she makes the effort and goes down to Little Tots during its operating hours and tries to get in touch with one of the heads or the principal or one of the caregivers, if that is unsuccessful, would you then be willing to help try and get in contact? Because as we all know, since they do lease from your property,
Yes,
they're
yes,
required to communicate with you, correct?
yes.
So if she does make that attempt, would you be willing to cooperate there?
Yes, you know, the big issue here is, you know, if you have a problem, handle it yourself. And what I've been saying, you know, or what I've been at least leading to would be the idea, like, if you cannot handle it yourself, what do? And, you know, what we should all do is ask for help from different people. You know, if we can't handle it ourselves, it's just a natural human thing to do. So what I've been trying to say is, you call them, you go, you figure it out. And if you can't, I would be willing to help with that. But when you speak with your mouth, you don't listen with your ears, apparently. So here we are.
So it sounds like, does that sound reasonable to you, Ms. Brady? Would you be willing to make an effort to communicate with the head over at Little Tots? And if that's unsuccessful, then we
I mean, I
can...
don't have their information. Where do I get their information?
You know where they are, you can walk.
I mean, is
I'm
that-
not going
is
to walk,
is
you
that-
know, that's not
I mean, I
driving.
think more so is she wants to be in direct communication with them, so is there any way you can provide the contact information to her?
Yes.
Are they going to answer?
I don't know.
Or are they
That's-
like you?
Oh,
And
That's totally
not
out of his
calling
control.
them.
I answer prayers.
So we'll...
I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of contacting them, contacting the church, and no one helping me. It's not like they picked up the phone and was like, "Hey, contact little Tots." They didn't do that for me. Like, I'm tired of it. So I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone would be in the same position.
And I mean, I understand your frustration there. It's, you know, always trying to get a hold of everyone. There's no like usable information being given to you to help you solve the problem. I understand that frustration.
But
And if this
seems
doesn't
like-
get fixed, I will file a lawsuit for a nuisance.
please do.
Oh, well, that's fine, but we'd also like to just try and focus on the now. And it seems as though we have a viable possible solution to the problem. So we'll see how it goes from there. You can go ahead and use the contact information you provide. And if it's unsuccessful, then we can think of other options. But at the moment, it seems like this is the best
At the
possible.
moment, it seems like she just wants to go ahead and file a lawsuit. Look, lady, you can go ahead and file a lawsuit. You can do what you like. I'm just gonna file one back for harassment.
Harassment?
Harassment.
I mean,
but-
sure. I mean, I've
We're not-
called you.
Okay,
I mean, I've
Ms.
called
Brady,
you
Mr.
guys
Christian,
Multiple
No,
we are
it
not
takes
here
up
to the property
to.
and yell.
We understand that the lawsuit is a viable option for both of you on either side, but that's not what we're here to discuss today. Today we're here to talk about, you know, she's brought up the traffic, the safety issues that presents, and the children. We've already established, you know, what we can do about the children. So let's let that not be a problem anymore. You know, we've already found a viable option. We've, you know, already determined that you're gonna go ahead and release that information to her, right? So let's go ahead and, without, you know, escalating the situation to a place it doesn't need to be, let's go ahead and, you know, bring it back down and try to, you know, figure out a problem for the other, or a solution for the other problems that have presented themselves in this situation. Can we do that? Does that work for
Yes.
both of you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So, we've covered the children. In regards to traffic, safety issues there, I don't know on either one of your ends what really, would be considered a viable or potential solution. So, just gonna go ahead and allow you guys to try and discuss that, figure that out, and
Look, I don't know what you do in your job, your field, or how much you know in life, but what I do know is that if you're trying to get rid of traffic, you're gonna need to bring that to the state. I can't open up roads, I can't do things like that. If people wanna come, they're gonna come. You know, the word of God calls to all. Now, if you wanna handle with the children's situation, you're gonna have to come in contact with them. I will go ahead and provide you the names, of the people who I've leased to. I'll provide you their numbers, and if you don't come in contact with them, then that's something that you're gonna have to file against them, and not so much me. And to be honest, I don't even think that would be a great idea too, because, you know, I welcome them. I think they're great for at least trying to do what they do.
Who?
The little tots, the owners. You know, like maybe they're not
What
doing
they're
it great.
trying to
What they're
do?
trying to do, which is
I mean, you don't
run-
even know what goes on since you say that, you know, it has
I
nothing
don't
to
know,
do with the
and
church.
that's why I'm saying they're trying, and because
You
they're
don't
trying,
even know if they're
yeah,
trying. I listen to it every day. Baby's crying. Why? I don't know. Are they hungry? Something's wrong. I don't know. Maybe you should care. Maybe you should want to.
And you know, I do care. Maybe that's why I am here, as he has said already. I'm trying to help, and now it looks like you're just a block that won't listen. And I'm saying I'm willing to help. What?
Okay. So yeah, we've already addressed that that issue with the children. So your other issue was the traffic in the parking, correct? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the parents have been driving
And
like
so-
maniacs.
So did you have any thoughts on resolutions possibly, or what you thought could have been done better or handled a little better that may not directly be addressed to Mr. Christian, that he has the authority to like fix, but he may be again a useful resource in helping become one step closer to fixing that situation? So were there any suggestions you had?
I mean, just stopping the kids from crying is just my main concern.
Well, I'll give you the contact information.
Okay. So what we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and sign a form, a written agreement between the two of you guys, acknowledging, you know, your initiative in distributing the contact information, and then being willing to follow up on that should a initiation of contact fit.
Okay.
You know, we understand that you guys may not still be inclined to directly converse with one another, but you know, we are thankful you guys have, you know, at least been able to civilly converse about the problems at hand. And, you know, even if you don't speak to one another, you know, just know that there has been, or there is progress being made on these issues. So, thank you guys for your time. Have you go ahead and sign the contract.
Your John Hancock there.
God bless you.
Do you want my Shelly? My signature here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.